In its bid to become a nation without smokers, Sweden has long given pride of place to snus, an oral nicotine pouch placed under the upper lip.
We are in Gothenburg. It's one of our 3 plants. This one is built in 1982, 400 employees. And currently we are making portion-packed snus here, which is grinded tobacco that comes into a pouch like a tea bag, and then it goes into the can. You have a can, you have a pouch. It comes with tobacco in like a tea bag. We've used it for 200 years in Sweden, and you just place it under the upper lip, use it for 5, 10 to 20, 30 minutes.
The Nordic country is the only EU member state in which snus is approved for sale. It is consumed by 1 in 7 inhabitants and has contributed, according to the Swedish government, to reducing the number of smokers from 15 to 5% in less than 20 years, a European record. But some cancer experts warn that it's a fairy tale being sold by the tobacco industry. We know that starting to use these kinds of new nicotine or tobacco products increases the risk of you starting smoking, says Ulrika Arehed Kagstrom, the Secretary General of the Swedish Cancer Society.
The main difference between nicotine pouches, syn, and traditional Swedish snus is really that this product does not contain any tobacco. It's a cellulose base, and we add nicotine extracted from tobacco.
I was smoking before, but then I was like, I would like to quit smoking, you know, and then snus was the better option because I only take the nicotine snus. So it's not, maybe, it depends. I mean, I'd rather go with snus than cigarettes for me because it doesn't hurt my lungs the same way.
You think it's
because it's also like flavors, so that's why a lot of young girls choose it, because it's like taste licorice and apple mint and all of that.
Well, you don't need to exit the building and you don't smell, so it's a very discreet way of having a pleasure of the nicotine.
Snus is part of the Swedish culture and tradition, just like many European countries have their traditional products like wine or beer or other types of products. So it's today both a cultural product still, of course, but it's also a very effective alternative to cigarette smoking here in Sweden. And they have their own delivery of snus. I mean, if you really don't want to have the harm of tobacco, you quit nicotine and tobacco altogether. But there are still 1.2 billion smokers in the world, and I believe that there is an interesting case to be looked at in Sweden, where we have replaced the cigarettes with an alternative product that does not include a combustion process, and it has benefited the public health.
Target group with new products in sort of pink and green and gold and sort of.
And just look at it the same way.
And we can see, for example, that every time taxes have been increased, smoking rates have gone down. And when we introduced a ban or age limits, smoking rates went down. And we introduced more and more smoke-free areas, smoking rates went down. So it's really to show where policies or restrictions, regulations have been made and the effects they've had. It came actually as a complete surprise, and I was really disappointed when I understood that the Swedish government was actually proposing to lower the taxes on snus and increasing them on cigarettes. Because it shows that they really completely bought the fairy tale from the tobacco industry, trying to sort of find a new market for these products and saying that these are harm reduction products. And there is no evidence supporting that. On the contrary, we know that starting to use these kinds of new nicotine or tobacco products increases the risks of you starting to smoking, and they are not healthy products, so we need to protect our young generations. But more research is needed. We know that snus and these kind of nicotine products, they sort of cause changes in your blood pressure, and they risk sort of in the long term cardiovascular diseases. And we know that for pregnant women, it's definitely not a health product for the women or the child. So the health effects needs to be looked into deeper, but I'm really worried that we will sort of make the mistake we did when smoking was introduced many decades ago. It took really a long time before research sort of showed that this is actually to what extent these products were harmful.
För att bilda så att inte cancerna och vill